So let's talk about Kuadro. So if you Google Kuadro, Kuadro, it'll take you to this page. It's Louise Carell games page, and if you scroll down, you're going to see there's a download for Windows and Mac. You can just download it for Windows if you want. That'll download the latest Kuadro. Now, once you've downloaded it, go ahead and copy that exe wherever you'd like. I have it right here on my desktop here. So I'm going to right-click this, and on Windows 10, I have to run this as administrator, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And you're going to notice it's going to pop over here to the right. Now, it might pop into this little up arrow window right here. All you need to do is just click and drag it out of there, and then you can throw it down here. And from now on, whenever you start that up, it'll go ahead and launch right down here. So it's going to say Kuadro is ready. Click here to get started. And all you need to do is right-click it, and this is where it all begins. So the first thing I'm going to do is just add a local image. And I'm just going to randomly select through here and just add some images. Hit OK. And it's going to go ahead and open those images. Now you can just click and drag and paste, put these images wherever you'd like. I have a second monitor over here to the left that I can't show you guys because I'm not recording that monitor. But just really quickly, if you did have a second monitor, that's probably where I'd end up putting it. The cool thing about Kuadro is you can put these images anywhere. It's not limited to anything really, and you can go ahead and zoom in with your mouse wheel. And if you're ever wondering if there's a function or something you need to know about, just right-click Kuadro over here and go to About. And that'll be all the mouse controls, all the shortcuts, and honestly, I don't even remember all of these. I use it a lot, but I don't use anywhere near like half the functionality that this program has, such as transparency, rotation. Actually, we'll use a little bit of that. So, for instance, let's say I've got these three weapons here, and I want to look at this top one here, and I want to look at the bottom one here. But I want two separate images. Let's say I don't want that middle one. All I need to do is control drag this image, and that'll pop a whole window out for that. And then I can just go ahead and frame this one up, and I'm just mouse wheeling, moving the image window like so. And then I can just go ahead and put this wherever I'd like. And you can just go ahead and stack your windows around however you want. Now, this isn't even the coolest thing. The coolest thing is, after you're done with all this, all you got to do is right-click Kuadro and go Save As. I'm just going to go ahead and save this as in the weapon reference. I'm going to do test weapon. I'm going to call this full. Let's say this is like the full size version of our weapon. So now that that's preset saved, I can go ahead and if I want to, I can close that preset. I can go back into Kuadro and I can go to Open Recent. There's my test weapon full. Loads them right back up. If for another reason, I can go to Add Local Image. I can go to another folder, or I can just add some more images here. So let's go ahead and I'm just going to randomly grab a couple more, hit Open. And now we've got these images here. Now let's say I want a reference that's just triggers. So I'm going to go in here and zoom into all these triggers here, and I've already got some images open that are just triggers now. This one I don't need, so I'm going to right-click and close this one. Zoom in on this trigger, this one, and this one here. And I don't need this one, so right-click close, right-click close. So now I've got a trigger set up, so if I want to, I can go, you know what, I'm working on the weapon full, and now I just want to work on the trigger. So I'm going to go ahead and right-click this, do Save As, and we'll call this Test Weapon Trigger. It's been saved, so now I can swap between those two. I can go to Weapon Full, loads up Weapon Full, I can right-click, go to Open Recent, Weapon Trigger, opens up Weapon Trigger, and I'm off to the races. So obviously this type of thing is really useful. Even if you're doing something as simple as a head, you're doing head reference and then you want to focus in on the eyes or the nose or the mouth, or you're doing, like I said, a full weapon, then you want to focus in on the grip or the trigger or the receiver or whatever, you can just go ahead and set up all your reference so that you can just hop between them. Or if you're doing a lot of concept sculpting, or just concepting in general, this isn't just for sculpting, that's what I do, but just for drawing or anything like that, super useful to kind of break down your reference. If one day or 1 hour you have to work on a power generator and the next hour you got to hop back over and start working on a creature design, you can just very quickly switch back and forth between your reference and not have to set that up over and over. And of course it works with you, so if you've got a bunch of windows open here and you can put this down here, you can put your IM windows up if you want to and just kind of arrange things around your desktop icons if you want, kind of leave little spaces open along the side or the bottom. Just makes it easy to work with you and around you. And just a few more cool things you can do. I've got the image here. Let's say I really like this weapon, but I want to see a couple different orientations and pieces of this at the same time. Of course, I can right click and choose duplicate, and that'll duplicate the window off, or I can just control drag a couple duplicates off. I can right click and I can do flip horizontally, I can do flip vertically. Of course, I can rotate 90 degrees clockwise, counterclockwise, all that good stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and close these back out. And another cool thing you can do is, let's go ahead and launch Photoshop here. And if you want to, just go ahead and load up a new image to work on. Now I tabbed over there, but you can also go down in here and just choose the weapon. And let's go ahead and rotate this 90 degrees. Let's go ahead and fit it to our window here. It's grabbing these corners here. And of course you can zoom in, resize your window, right click, and if you choose always on top, it'll always stay on top. So no matter what I'm clicking or if I'm painting in Photoshop, it'll always be on top. Well, why do I want this to be in my way on top? Well, if you right click, you'll also see that there's a lower opacity and increase opacity. Or you can hold down the T key, T is in tiger, and then as you click drag left and right, you can use that as a reference image to draw through in Photoshop. Another thing you can do is go ahead and bring our opacity back. If you don't want any color on here, you can just right click and say toggle grayscale, and that'll just convert it to a grayscale image. So let's go ahead and toggle grayscale back on. Let's go ahead and turn always on top off, and we got our opacity back. And let's go ahead and rotate this back. And there we go. And like I mentioned before, there's hotkeys for all that stuff. I was right clicking and choosing. If you go down here and choose about, here's all the hotkeys, locking images, toggling images to always be on top, flipping horizontally and vertically, rotating the image with all these hotkeys here. And this is also Mac compatible. So again, if you just Google Kuadro, Kuadro, that'll take you right to the Kuadro Cruel Games. Scroll down, Mac and Windows. Here's a couple videos to get you started on his channel. There's a couple different Kuadro videos here. So there's Kuadro 0.5 new features. Here's Intro to Kuadro. I think most of the things I've already gone over, but check those out for sure. And again, download for Windows, download for Mac, and get your reference viewing jump started. Wait, actually, one more thing. Let's go ahead and quit out of Kuadro here. If you don't like browsing, go ahead and discard those changes. I'm going to go ahead and open up a window right here. Just drag and drop these onto the Kuadro icon. That'll go ahead and launch Kuadro with these images. And let's go ahead and close this one, And any one of these, if I control drag off copies here, let's go close, close. You can hit the left and right arrows to cycle through all the other images in the folder. So just a couple more things I wanted to bring up.